NASCAR just made some huge changes to the track right before the season finale, and this is something that could certainly change the outcome of the whole season. Are they trying to hype up the finale, or are they just doing it because it makes sense? Who knows? One thing is sure, this will change the race upcoming Sunday for Doer. So before the NASCAR Championship 4 weekend, Phoenix Raceway and race officials changed the pit road. The line on pit road that determines the running order following pit stops has relocated further down the circuit. Previously, the first pit stall was about another stall away from the deciding line. It has now been extended to the yellow speed line, which is right before the pit wall finishes and cars exit onto the circuit. That first pit stall has always had a significant edge, sometimes too big of an advantage. I believe this is an effort to make pit stops more competitive for whoever wins the pole. It might have a significant impact on the NASCAR Championship, as cars now have a longer runway before deciding the order. Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports breaks it down in a video he tweeted to followers. And here's a basic image with the old line covered in black and the yellow line out in the distance.
What's the change people are talking about the first pit stall here at Phoenix? Well, I'm standing in the first pit stall, and it used to be you'd come right out of your first pit stall if you had the number one pit stall, and the line to where they determined who was first off pit road is right here. You can see they've painted over it. It was the white line right here, just feet beyond where the pit stall was. Well, now, where will they determine how to position cars coming off pit road? It's not this white line, which I believe is probably a paddle line, but it's all the way here at the speed line, the yellow line. You can see the cameras now are positioned here, and this is where they will determine how the order is coming off of pit road. So it's much further beyond the first pit stall than was before. Try to pan back and go back again. You can see coming off of pit road, if you're in that number one pit stall where the concrete almost ends, or where the concrete just goes beyond, and then to the line that's now been painted over.
In a follow-up, Pockrass stated that this change may be implemented across all tracks next season. NASCAR decided to use this approach this weekend, and teams were informed of the change ahead of time. So, another last-minute adjustment for a crucial race. This appears to be a common occurrence recently. Tire changes, pit road alterations, all on little notice or just dropped on spectators and/or drivers as a group. Pros and drawbacks of pit road changes ahead of the NASCAR Championship. Admittedly, I do not despise this adjustment, at least on the surface. I believe there are a lot of circuits where the end of pit road, or the line at most tracks, is too near to the first pit box. Yes, drivers on the pole should have the edge, but courses like Phoenix went too far. But why are we doing this now? Why can't we wait till Bowman Gray Stadium or Daytona? Why now, just before the championship? It is one of NASCAR's moves that is both rational and sensible, but was implemented at the wrong moment. When fans witness stuff like these, they wonder, why? All it does is fuel conspiracy claims about wanting a specific driver, manufacturer, or organization to triumph over the competition. NASCAR Championship weekend promises to be a lot of fun. Let us hope that this pit road alteration does not cause any controversy, and if it does, I'm sure we'll be hearing it until the next season start. Now going back to some other pressing news this week. As earlier this week, NASCAR imposed significant penalties on the 3 teams involved in what series officials deemed to be race manipulation: the number 3 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, the number 1 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet of Ross Chastain, and the number 23-23-11 Racing Toyota of Bubba Wallace. Crew leaders, spotters, and senior executives were suspended for a week. Each team and driver were penalized 50 points and fined $200,000, $100K for the team and $100K for the individual. Initially, all 3 teams indicated that they intended to challenge the penalty. 2311, who is also competing for the Cup Championship this weekend against Tyler Reddick, soon decided to drop the motion. However, both Chevrolet teams pushed advanced. However, after Trackhouse lost their appeal on Thursday evening, RCR also lost theirs. The National Motorsports Appeals Panel issued its ruling on Trackhouse Racing's penalty appeal. Trackhouse Racing's appeal was dismissed, and RCR withdraws their case. RCR and Trackhouse chose to pursue an appeal of the penalties imposed following Sunday's race at Martinsville. We feel in the best interest of racing and to protect the integrity of the sport, it was appropriate to uphold and affirm NASCAR's decision with regard to the NASCAR Rule 4.4, attempting to manipulate the outcome of the race, according to a statement released by the panel. The two teams were penalized for violating the sport's code of conduct during the race, possibly as a result of a tense final stretch in which William Byron and Christopher Bell jockeyed for points. With the final playoff position in the Championship 4 on the line, Byron was hoping to maintain his small points advantage over Bell. However, Byron's car was losing ground to the field, and he seemed to be fading rapidly as Bell gained momentum. That is when the action that resulted in the NASCAR penalty most likely happened. Austin Dillon's team's communications focused on knowing the deal. Shortly after, Dillon and another Chevrolet driver, Ross Chastain, seemed to block the track behind Byron, preventing him from losing any further track position. Byron is also a Chevy driver. Fans immediately criticized the race for possible manipulation, especially after NASCAR moved to video review to look into Bell's finish. Like RCR and Trackhouse, 2311 was fined by NASCAR after Bubba Wallace, a Toyota driver, seemed to allow Bell a stunningly easy pass, bringing him level with Byron in points. Bell is also a Toyota driver. Surprisingly, 2311 chose not to appeal the NASCAR penalty, revealing its decision on Wednesday afternoon. NASCAR initially fined each team by suspending its crew chief and spotter, as well as one team official, and fining the team $100,000 and docked 50 driver points. Now that the penalty stays, Joey Logano wants to see if NASCAR's penalty of Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon, and Bubba Wallace sends a message to other drivers. Logano was asked by media on Thursday how the penalties will affect Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series championship race. "It's hard to say. The beneficiaries of it are still in it, and nothing happened," Logano said, per Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports. "You tell me if it was good enough or not. Did it work or not? Was it worth it? I don't know. I'm not NASCAR. I'm not the person that can make the call on that stuff. Just driving cars. You just hope everyone races fairly." Logano secured a position in the Championship 4 by winning the Round of 8 playoff race in Las Vegas. He's going for his second Cup Series victory, having won it all in 2022. "So proud of our race team all the way through," Logano told reporters after the Las Vegas race last month. "This group of guys, they're truly incredible. They're good people, which is one of the things I'm most proud of, but they're really smart. In the playoffs, they're able to really be able to keep a level head and maximize the races no matter what's dealt with them." Logano is looking forward to the race, but at the same time someone else in the Championship 4 might feel some nerves, as 2311 Racing will be without a few crucial personnel this weekend. How will this affect Tyler Reddick's championship chances? Dave Rogers, the competition director, and Booty Barker, Bubba Wallace's crew chief, have been suspended for the NASCAR finals. NASCAR imposed these punishments as part of its penalty for many teams' behavior at Martinsville. Officials clamped down on 3 racers and their teams who seemed to be manipulating races. It is critical to have all of the team's key players present at the track. When Bubba Wallace takes the track for practice, his data will most likely be used to improve Tyler Reddick. "I feel like we have good depth. We've got great people," Reddick told Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports at Championship Media Day. "Personally, I wish Dave and Booty were here for sure, but I don't know. I think Dave does a really good job with his role. Booty is a great leader of his team, and I think they'll be able to do what they need to do this weekend. So, yeah, I guess personally, I wish they were here if things go well, to celebrate this moment. But if things go well, there will be opportunities outside of Sunday to take it in with those folks." Tyler Reddick also wants his friends and teammates to be present for another reason: if he wins. Celebrating without Booty and Rogers will be quite disappointing. He knows, however, that he will be able to celebrate with them once he returns to North Carolina. I mean, Booty's just an awesome guy to be around, so yeah, I certainly will miss him this weekend," Reddick explained. "And getting to know Dave over the years, yeah, I like having him around too. But there's been weekends we've gone to the track and Dave isn't there. So I think we'll be fine. We'll be okay. I guess, again, personally, I just wish they were here if things go well for us to celebrate together, but we'll get to do that later on if things go right." 2311. Racing is in their first Championship 4. Is it feasible that they will upset Team Penske and Hendrick Motorsport? Would Tyler Reddick's triumph designate him as the sport's next superstar? It's difficult to say no when Michael Jordan is standing behind him, but will those track changes or penalties hurt one of the championship drivers this weekend? The answer is probably, but who? We'll have to wait and see. Who are you backing to win this weekend? Let me know in the comments down below.